everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with a bit of a short stream slash YouTube video. This is a user suggested cards by PaxMono33 on YouTube. So this is one of those decks that's been suggested. I don't endorse any of these cards in Incinerator Burn. And we're going to be playing two-man queues, so I'm not really sure how much we're actually going to learn. Just the FYI here. I tend to do that with decks that are neither donation decks nor my own ideas, things that people want to see, and, well, quite frankly, haven't forked over moolah. So I'm risking this on my own dime, so that's why I tend to play two-man queues with these. But this is the 60 that I started with for the last time we played Incinerator Burn, with some sideboard cards. Return of Klothys, God of Destiny, a card that's had mixed reviews in the past. It's done well at certain points. It's felt really clunky in others. Right now in a more aggressive meta, it feels a little bit clunky. 3 copies of Ensnaring Bridge. So this is another card that PaxMono requested that we test. A little bit awkward in a deck full of Chandler's Incinerators. Feels a little bit counterintuitive to the game plan you're trying to play with Incinerator and creature matchups, but we'll see where that comes up. And then finally, the other card they requested we test was Veil of Summer. This is a card that I don't think particularly adds much to the Burn archetype in particular. I think this is much better in decks that are trying to resolve big key spells, or that really care about discard and counter spells, and I don't really think Burn particularly applies to those. It can protect Chandler's Incinerator to a certain degree, but most of the things that deal with Chandler's Incinerator, Path to Exile, and Aether Gust don't really care about Veil of Summer anyway, unless of course Aether Gust is trying to cast it after it resolves. And then beyond that are kind of leftovers of the cards we were mainly focusing on last time. 3 D-Rev, because I don't feel comfortable leaving home without some type of Answered Chalice. 2 copies of Relic to supplement our Klothai. If Klothys ends up being a thing that you want to play, I would strongly recommend 3 Relic, 2 Klothys, but we're doing this to see more copies of the card. And then 2 copies of Path to Exile, which is a little bit weird with playing Ensnaring Bridge once again. But once again, also a card I don't like to leave home without in a Burn thing. No. PaxMono requested I also test Deflecting Palm. I just think that's way too many cards to try to shove into a deck. Beyond that, we're doing the green splash with a Tarkus Command over Boros Charm for Chandler's Incinerator. Mainly because originally we were playing Klothys, God of Destiny at the behest of Poseidon in the Burn Discord. We kind of moved away from it, but I still continued to play the green splash because I kind of liked some of what was going on. If the queues take too long in the 2-man queue, I'll move to the tournament practice rooms. But probably going to play 2 matches. Not really enough to get enough test data, but at least see how the cards function as part of a sideboard and that kind of stuff. So looks like we're up against perhaps a companion deck because of the delay. Yep. We're up against Luris deck. We are on the play. Yeah, we're on the play. This hand's pretty decent overall on the play, so definitely a keep. And hopefully we are not up. I guess, actually, I do want to see Bogles here. This sounds really stupid, but Bogles is one of the matchups I could see in Ensnaring Bridge being a card we want. So, Silent Clearing, more likely to be a Death Shadow variant. Mardu or Jund, perhaps. Okay. Esper Mill. Alright. So do that more to get it out of the way because it is an 0-3 than anything else. This is a matchup where Veil of Summer will be reasonable, so that's at least a positive. And Clothis could be interesting. So, adding Cacophony, sure. I think I just hold up a Targus command here in case they have something like Crypt Incursion main, or wonder what the White Splash is for. Feels like Silent Clearing is a bit of a... Yeah, I'm cool with that. How are you doing tonight, Secret Nair, by the way? I do apologize. If they have... whatchamacallit, they have whatchamacallit, it's kind of whatever here. And I was going to bolt you and end the game. Sure. I say, unless you're in Enforcive Negation, I don't know that there's too much going on here that we could care about. English Unmaking is unfortunate, but I don't think they're going to be able to leave it in against us. This is probably an Incinerator matchup out anyway because of things like Aethergust that are likely coming in. Veil of Summer seems particularly reasonable in this matchup. Clothis seems particularly reasonable. It's slow, but this is a matchup where they generally don't kill us particularly quickly. And I might... do I want relics here? Is that crazy to want relics? Question is, what card are we cutting if we're bringing in relic? I think these 5 are already kind of crazy enough. I might just go like this and leave the rest of the cards. Like, I could see cutting Seal of Fires, but is Seal of Fire better than Relic of Progenitus? We can go with a 2-2 split. A little bit awkward with the fetch land, but overall I think reasonable enough. Just get this out of the way. If they have the Archive Trap, they have the Archive Trap. I'm cool with it either way. Do you have it? Looks like the answer is no. So, Maddening Cacophony, sure. So they hit both of the Veils. So Seal of Fire actually adds to Clothis's, whatchamacallit? Are they really going to do this? Okay, sure. Seems pretty dumb to me. Okay, whatever. So you just drew the Archive Trap? Is that what I'm getting out of that? Or you just passed up the opportunity to do it on turn 1? Get the Fatal Push or not? Oop. Alright. No Cling to Dust either? Alright. Do you have the Crypt Incursion? No, you have a Spellskite little lamb. Kinda cute little tech you have there. Doesn't really do a whole lot in this matchup. Because it can't redirect the Lava Spike. I guess it kinda chump blocks my Eidolon. Lava Spike you. Lava Spike you. Goodbye, friend. Alright, go to 1. What can you cast here? Sure. Did you lose to our spicy meatball? Alright, nice. Jump right back into the fray here. Looks like they are also a companion deck. This isn't the same opponent, is it? Nope, not the same opponent. Interesting. Yeah, seems pretty reasonable. Blood Crypt, eh? What's up, War Dog? I see you lurking there. So I could play Eidolon here, which I think I'm going to do. Oh, you're not interrupting much. It's just I wanted to get back into the habit of streaming normal days, and why are they fetching in response to their own? Okay, sure, whatevs. Kind of figured there was going to be a thing there. That's why I didn't run out Swift Spear. Opponent puts Luris in their hand. Sure. Alright, so Swizzle Spear, Seal of Fire, attack for 2, potentially get to drop Incinerator next turn, and then we get to, now they have the awkward thing of they really need to hit their, Dismember, sure. You have a Death Shadow? You do. Shocker. Second Death Shadow? Yep. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Alright, pass turn. Make any dumb moves, you're dead. 10. That'll put us dead to bolt, wouldn't it? So let's do the thing. They have whatchamacallit, good on them. Cling to dust. We know one of the cards in their hand was Allura's, so. Incinerator's out. Ensnaring Merges in. Veil of Summers in. But that's a reasonable magic card. Klothys, a little bit awkward, but I think we bring it in. We go down those ones, and Atarka's commands, I guess. And then go like this and have a really clunky back end here. So I guess on a positive note, at least every single one of the matchups we've been bringing in the cards. This hand's awkward, but I do think we keep it awkward in the fact that I should have brought in Path to Exile. That was really dumb on my part. Because now we're entirely reliant upon Ensnaring Bridge to stop Death Shadow. Okay, well, apparently we're just on the kill your stuff and idle on you plan. Swizzle Spear, sure. Kill your guys now, kill your guys now. Actually, I should, okay, they're just putting Artis in their hands, sure. Good chance we get Swizzle Speared here. More Soul Scarred, I suppose. Yep. We're close to turning on our Klothys. Is that an achievement? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, the salt has to be real on the other side of the table. The salt has to be real. Oh, man. What are they pathing, out of curiosity? They're still pathing the Eidolon, sure. I'm going to swing with the Luris. Okay, I'm 100% taking that block. Yeah, this is an entertaining league, not even league, it's an entertaining series of matches. Blew our opponent out with a Veil of Summer. We... Okay. Dismember. Targeting Eidolon. Get our white source just to screw with our opponent. They might respect Path to Exile if they might not otherwise. Well, mildly awkward, I suppose. I think we have to... Attacking with Goblin Guy, a little bit risky here, obviously. Feels a little less risky now. So they gotta go for it. We could be dead here. If not, they die during our upkeep or main phase, whatever it is. Yep. And then they get 2 cracks at it with Bomat Courier. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Oh, Chihuahua. Oh, what a series of cards. I guess we play one more. I wasn't expecting... Why is it any other time I, say I'm going to play a league, I end up with a 2-hour burn league? Then, oh, I'm only going to play 2 matches. 25 minutes later, it's like, well, I guess I'll queue up for another one. Just because the Craps and Giggles value has been so high. Now, keep in mind, so far, our matchups have been extremely, forgiving, considering Veil of Summer and Klothys have been relevant in both matchups. Bridge wasn't relevant against Death Shadow variant, potentially. So, keep in mind we've been fortunate that the cards we're testing have been relevant. So, keep in mind that Veil of Summer is not always going to be relevant. Klothys is a fine card against non-aggressive decks. Pass the night. Yeah, I suppose. Well, to be fair, Death Shadow aggro does have some interaction with us. Is the path normal now? Like, I wonder if the path tech is normal in the Rakdos Death Shadow decks. Or Rakdos Luros decks. I know they were playing Wear Tear. I haven't kept up with, like, the latest tech with Rakdos. Are they playing path now, too? J. Russell Anderson. Alright. This will be our final match of the evening. So I wanted to do a short stream tonight. It's been a long weekend at work, so I am exhausted. But did want to get in some matches tonight as well as the stream, so. And I do know Pax Mono has been patiently waiting for their request. Alright, Gigantha. So Tron or whatchamacallit most likely? 5-color Niv. And Tron it is. Alright. Alright, that's a reasonable card to draw here. Confirmed, green Tron. Don't think our sideboard cards are particularly well, the cards we're trying out are particularly relevant in this matchup. I do believe they have natural Trons, so hopefully it's not natural Tron into Worm Coil, but actually, can we beat that? Trigger, Emrakul, put them to 7. Actually, we beat Worm Coil. Oh, I wasn't going to play a league without testing such wacky cards. But, like, Worm Coil Engine is, like, their best. What are they going to do? Grab Trinisphere here? Like, that's the only thing. Trinisphere doesn't even keep them alive here. Like, what are they going to grab? Liquid Metal Coating? Yeah, Trinisphere, just, you're dead on board. There you go. You figured it out. Alright, so D-Revs and Paths are relevant. None of the cards we're actually wanting to try are relevant here. Bring in these guys, bring in the Paths. Go down Incinerator, especially on the draw. Shave 1 Eidolon on the draw. And submit. Well, I don't know that the Death Shadow variant is actually a good matchup. I just think our draw happened to line up quite well. And Klothys... it seems a keep, but it's not, like, great. Like, it's got plenty of early pressure. Ish. But if we were to draw a Goblin Guide or another Swiftspear next turn, I'd be very happy. What, the Death Shadow deck? Oh, I'm sure it's very good. I just haven't had a chance to actually play it. Is it a good matchup for Burn or a bad matchup for Burn? Alright, well, I mean, we're going to get Tron next turn, so there's not really much we can do. Hopefully their Tron payoff is subpar. Tarn Liberated, sure. Go after a land or you go after the Swift Spear? Okay, go after the Swift Spear, that makes sense. Opponent's at a virtual 9, 7. Okay, so we lose our only white source, which is not really particularly relevant. At the moment, at least. Rakdos? Problem is there's no one draw on our deck that kills them. So just gonna pass the turn. Hopefully I don't have another Thragdad. Just gonna let this happen. If they have another Thragtusk, they have another Thragtusk. There's nothing we can do. There's no 1-mana answer in our deck to life gain. So, curious why they're not attacking here. Ulamog? Yeah, there goes Ulamog. So why didn't you attack again exactly? I am very confused at that. Guess it doesn't matter because we're just dead next turn anyway. Awkward. Yeah, I've never understood the concept of leaving in Ulamog against Burn. That just seems really bad unless you have like nothing to board against Burn. Like, we could bring in Ensnaring Bridge. That just really feels like the wrong strategy against what they're doing. Once again, I'm not a huge fan of Eidolon against Green Tron. I mean, it's fine on the play, so I'm willing to leave in 3. But on the draw, it's absolutely horrendous. It has to reveal their Giganta. 4-lander can't keep. 5-lander can't keep. Hand that's risky as heck, but I think we have to keep it. Put back one of the Eidolons and a Tarka's Command, I guess. Go with that. Unfortunately, I think the 5-card hand duel off favors Tron. But we'll see. we can draw a land next turn, particularly a green source, we're in business. If we can't, then we're probably going to lose. Star, sure. Alright, I guess if there's a good non-land draw, it's one of our one-drop creatures. Expedition map. Maybe we'll be lucky and they don't have a land drop. Yep. I'll have Tron on. Well, I mean that's a pretty decent draw there. I guess we gotta hope that they don't have Tron next turn. Feels like they might with the fact that they didn't run out the map. Nope, no Tron. Okay. I guess they didn't want to get blown out by D-Rev. Or some type of... Don't find power plant, don't find power plant, don't find power plant. You found the forest. Okay, so you could have Nature's Claim, I suppose. Expedition map, alright. Land, please. Is that lethal? Okay, I didn't do maths, but that might be lethal. 10 myself to 10, that goes down to 8, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's lethal. +1/+1. 3 damage. Deal myself a bunch of damage. Kill you by a lot. Alright, so quick take on our very scientific 3 matches with the card suggestions. They're absolutely perfect. I wouldn't change anything. Sarcasm aside, I do think if you wanted to go off the wall with like these style of cards, 2's probably the correct number over 3. Bridge is a really weird card. So the thing with Bridge is you want to see Bridge against like Death Shadow decks. You want to see it against humans. You want to see it against Death and Taxes. You know, basically decks that are trying to kill you via creature combat, right? And you could, I guess you could conceivably bring it in against Tron to keep Worm Coil Engines and Thrag Tusks from beating you down. But I think that's misassessing the role, because as Burn, you are the aggressive deck in that matchup. The problem with Ensnaring Bridge, or has historically been the problem with Ensnaring Bridge, is if your opponent expects it, or even if they don't, they often have outs to it in post-board games. Like a lot of the Death Shadow variants have cards like a Braid, or if they're like GDS, they have like Stubborn Denial and such, in addition to their discard spells. Death and Taxes has Flicker Wisp and Skyclave Apparition. Humans Tech usually has some out to it, especially if they're expecting it. Now it can certainly catch them off guard. Not saying it's not a card that can't steal games or be good in certain matchups, but I think we just got dumb luck in our first 2 matchups that Veil of Summer and Klothys happen to be good. Klothys is a card that I'm like very, very high on in like this style of deck, in a format where things are a little bit grindier. When the format's more aggressive and it's Death Shadows and Death and Taxes and Humans, I'm not as high on it. But in a meta that's full of like slower Death Shadow decks, 4-color Uro piles, Jund decks, that kind of stuff, Klothys is a decent card in those matchups. And a reason why I think Poseidon was high on it was the thought process of it being good against the Uro piles, although I think Roiling Vortex has kind of filled that role a little bit better. As I said at the beginning, how would I actually build this deck if I were approaching it from a legit perspective, including these cards? I'd probably shave a Bridge, shave a Klothys, add a Relic, and add a 4th D-Rev? I don't know. It's really kind of... Or I might even add a couple copies of Roiling Vortex. It's really kind of hard when you're playing with this many like off the wall or abnormal choice cards to determine like the correct numbers. That's why when I'm testing cards, I always go overboard. That way I get to see the cards more often. Veil of Summer, really hard to say. Like, there's a lot of times in Burn that you don't have the option of holding up extra mana, so that can be a little bit awkward. The blowout effect, obviously, not expecting Veil of Summer out of a Burn deck, but what would be the huge draw towards Veil of Summer? I think the draw towards Veil of Summer is much like the draw towards Boros Charm. Like, it kind of protects your threats out of nowhere and can really punish some people for not playing at sorcery speed. Especially if you play like an Eidolon and then they wait until your turn to try to get some extra damage off of your Eidolon, like a lot of people like to try to do with Burn, which... whatever sometimes. I know I do it in the Burn Mirror, but the Burn Mirror is a little bit different than those style of matchups. But I could see Veil of Summer being a fine addition. Yeah. I mean, it was nice to get the 3-0 from this expedition. So, Pax Mono, I really hope this answers your questions on those cards. Like, I think they're all tryable, but I wouldn't necessarily like go out of my way to play them right now. But like I said, there are certain matchups where Bridge is fine, certain matchups where Klothys is good, and Veil of Summer is definitely a trick that this version could be willing to try out. I could also see it running it with the Bone Crusher variant that I tried out, the one video set. In fact, I think the next time I pick up the Bone Crusher variant, I might run Veil of Summer, just to try that as more of a trial there. Because once you're running more threats, it's a little more interesting to try it out. I don't know. I think that's about the sum total of my opinion on things, and really want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight on a short stream. Tomorrow's stream hopefully will be longer if I get some decent sleep tonight. And tomorrow's the last day of a 6-day stretch at work, and I'm off on Wednesday. War Dog, I'm definitely doing your deck on Wednesday, but I still don't know which one yet. It's kind of one of those things that if I want to be conservative with my tickets and play points, I played Prowess. If I just want awesomeness, I go with that red-black Waste Not deck. So, I hate to be the fiscally conservative streamer here, but if I want to go with sheer awesomeness, I'm going with the Rakdos deck. So, will do. Alright, I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Seeker Nair, War Dog, see who else is chilling out in the stream here. Boogly Boo, Commander Root, Lurix, Sweet Liberties, see y'all lurking there. A10, thanks everybody for hanging out. See if there's anybody that I normally... Nope. Nobody that I normally send y'all to. So, I hope y'all have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in for a short stream. This should be up in a day or two. I'm trying to abide by the Twitch UOS, which means I'm not supposed to post things for 24 hours. That's why things are a little bit slower sometimes. But I thank everybody for hanging out. It was an awesome short stream. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and I hope you have a good evening. This has been John for MTG Nexus.